Today is Oracle Orientation Day, and I'm kind of excited. You know, I was at Oracle a couple years ago, maybe more than a couple. I'm more of a NetSuite guy, but I think I'll fit right in.
Okay. Morning, everyone. I am so glad you could make it. Oh, you feel that? That is the feeling of the potential here at Oracle. Yeah, because it's your success. But it's also my success, because it's your success, because you succeeded by succeeding here.
Sorry.
Okay, let's start by playing. How many of those did you bring? Okay, let's break some ice. Let's all just go around the room and talk a little bit about what you've been up to since your first day here at Oracle. Okay, you, Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I was president of my sorority, the Omegas.
I like that. Omega-3s, healthy choices. Nice. Oh, Michelle, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I am actually in a band, the Electric Rainbows.
Ooh, can we hear you anywhere?
Weddings, most big weddings, and
Wow. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, I was actually the assistant to the regional manager at GameStop.
Ooh. No easy task, I'm sure.
Not at all.
Ethan.
Evan.
Of course. What were you doing before today?
Okay. I spent the last 18 years building the first cloud business software company and a product that transformed thousands of businesses.
So it's been 18 years since your last orientation?
Something like that. Yeah, it was 3 weeks of software training and beer drinking. It was a blast.
Okay, this is serious. We have a lot of ground to cover, and we can't waste any time. Let's get to work. That's right. Find your inner animal. Find it. Nice feathers. I like the feathers. Yeah, fan those feathers. And freeze!
Things have changed.
These are the moments that are important. The first baby step, striding toward a new career.
180-degree turn, left. Now, right. Evan, come on, Evan. Make a right.
Fight for it. Find your power. Disrupt. You can do it. Powerful disruption. Be the disruptor.
Oh, so cliche. That's just a word. We're delivering.
We're delivering. We're delivering.
We're delivering. We're delivering. We're delivering.
You really have to be able to know each other. Little face. Connect as one. Head to head, heart to heart.
Pretty much.
Hey!
I've got to get that. Hey, okay, yeah, I'll leave now. Sorry, guys. I gotta go do some actual work.
This is the actual work. Ethan, if you leave now, I can't award you a certificate of completion.
Well, I'll be the best orientation student. But every day at NetSuite is orientation. We orient ourselves to our customer, and we deliver quickly. With Oracle, we can do it even better.
There's nothing more I can teach you. Okay, who wants some swag, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome EVP of Development, Oracle, NetSuite, Evan Goldberg.
All right, do try this at home. These Urbies are great. Okay. So just addressing initially the elephant in the room, you can see by my ability to continue to humiliate myself that nothing really has changed. So welcome everybody to day 2 of SuiteWorld 2017. We're excited to talk to you about what we're going to do next in the product to help you achieve your next. So certainly one of the things I'm most excited about this year, our 7th year of doing these keynotes, is that our next chapter with Oracle. As Jim and Mark said yesterday, Oracle plus NetSuite equals more, more, more. Except in the case of this safe harbor statement, which is less, less, less. But don't worry, more, more, more lawyers were involved in crafting it. So certainly a big part of the more is more investment. We're now part of a company that spends over $5 billion per year just on R&D. We're investing more in the product than ever before. We're going to hire more people into my team than ever before. You know, we've said this before, the hockey stick chart, this is really what we've done, and this is what we're going to continue to do. One of the greatest things about partnering with Oracle is the unlimited access to some of the best technology in the world and the people who create it. So 30 years ago, when I was last at Oracle, right after my last orientation, I worked in the group with Andy Mendelsohn on some of the core database technology. And what's really cool now is I get to meet with Andy Mendelsohn and discuss how that core Oracle database technology can work best in the context of NetSuite. So it's really like kids in a candy store. We're going to be taking advantage of container databases, their new multi-tenant architecture, hardware like X7 servers and data centers, and the bare metal cloud. So that's going to be great. That's going to improve NetSuite for everybody that uses it. We're also going to embed technology like the data visualization cloud service, which we'll show you a little bit later, and a lot more. So more investment, more technology means we can do our mission even more. And our mission is to use the suite to transform even more customers. So what it means in the suite is more suite. This has always been our vision, an end-to-end system to run a business. And we're doubling down on it. We're expanding and improving key areas of the suite, including the Suite Cloud Platform, Suite Analytics, and, as Jim announced yesterday, Suite People. You'll learn a lot about that today. It's also for more customers. We're tailoring NetSuite to make it even better by localizing in even more countries around the globe and optimizing for more industries as part of Suite success. So in the rest of the keynote, we're going to dig in to each of these areas. So let's start with how we're going global. One of the most exciting opportunities with Oracle is to leverage their incredible global presence, sales, brand, expertise, to take NetSuite to more companies in more countries. So I'd like to introduce someone who sounds like he should be a late-night anchor on CNN International, but he actually leads international products for us and has for a long time. GVP of Product Management, Craig Sullivan. He's here somewhere. There he is.
Thank you, Evan.
All right.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Craig, take it away.
Thank you very much. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here to talk to you about the massive investment that's taking place in international product, thanks to our friends at Oracle. And for international product strategy here at NetSuite, there are two major components that we focus on. One is enabling you to act global, helping you solve some of the most complex problems of running your businesses at global scale, and also in being local, helping you by delivering a top-notch last-mile experience for both you and your customers. But before we talk about that, let's talk about where we are today. So you may be surprised to learn that you, our NetSuite customers, are running your businesses in over 190 countries and territories around the world. Just recently, you exceeded 3 billion monthly international transactions, so that's transactions outside of the United States on the NetSuite platform. And you're reaching over 97% of the global population. And one of the really interesting statistics about SuiteWorld this year is that for you folks in the room, you're representing over 60 countries, which I think truly makes this SuiteWorld 2017 the most international SuiteWorld ever. So we're running your businesses and helping you run your businesses everywhere. Unfortunately, that includes some of the most beautiful locations in the world. So we have customers running on Wallis and Futuna and in the Marshall Islands, which are islands in the Pacific Ocean. We have companies running NetSuite in sub-Saharan Africa. And we also have companies, and I met them this week, running NetSuite beneath the Northern Lights in Finland. And the really good news for the international team is that these destinations are on our bucket list. So we're really looking forward to some amazing customer visits over the course of the next year. But beyond that, you, our customers, are benefiting from NetSuite on an ever larger scale as well. you're using a single instance of NetSuite One World in dozens of countries, running hundreds of subsidiaries across all industries and verticals. Really amazing statistics. And based upon everything that we see you doing in the NetSuite product and what we see going on with other systems around the world, we're pretty confident that today NetSuite is the world's most widely deployed cloud ERP system. Thank you. Thank you. But we haven't been resting on our laurels. In the context of acting global, we're laser focused on enabling your global expansion, because we know as you grow, you don't want to get bogged down in the inefficiencies resulting from complex legal structures or multiple locations around the world. So we've listened and prioritized the work that we've been doing in the development organization to make sure that NetSuite One World is the best system to run your global business. So we're going to take a look at a couple of those features that have been highly requested by you right now. So the first one is the advanced intercompany journal entry. We've been working to make it easier for you to make adjustments across your various subsidiaries in multiple currencies and with automation of approvals. And so we'll see the world's largest GL journal entry screen on the screen behind me now as well. So here we are, the new advanced intercompany journal. You can select all of the currencies that you have in the system from your parent all the way through your subsidiaries. And in this example, we've created a journal here with 4 lines, one adjusting from the parent across 3 subsidiaries, so that you can make an adjustment, a fairly common adjustment that you would need to do. And once you're happy with those entries, you can go ahead and click the new Auto Balance button, and NetSuite's going to do the calculation for all of the adjustments that need to take place across all the subsidiaries, across the intercompany accounts payable and receivables, so that it balances out across your various subsidiaries. And in some cases, that may take a few moments if you have lots of subsidiaries and lines, but it's all automated now, so you don't have to do this manually anymore. So once you're happy, thank you, yes. Once you're happy with the journal, big time improvement there, you can save it. And then this will go into the pending approval state, and I'll come back to that in a moment. But let's take a look at the accounting magic behind the scenes and the GL impact. Drop down here, and you can see that for each of the subsidiaries, we've calculated the appropriate currency and made the appropriate entries in the accounts payable, accounts receivable accounts for you. So very, very powerful stuff, saves a lot of manual effort and time on a monthly basis for many of you. As I mentioned, because this is NetSuite, we've implemented this in conjunction with our approval routing capabilities as well. So this, in this case, this is going to go to the corporate approver, and once they approve it, it's going to go on to the German controller, the German approver, so that they can actually approve it in their currency, in their subsidiary, and seeing only those transactions only those transactions lines that are relevant for their particular subsidiary. And that's available in the product today. So please talk to your reps and take advantage of that as soon as you can. Next up, we have GL impact locking, a feature that we were formerly referring to as Storno. And this is an implementation that allows you actually to make sure that your accounting entries comply with local standards around the world, where in many cases, when those journal entries are approved and those GL entries are approved, once they're entered in the GL, they need to be locked there and set in stone. So let's take a look at this implementation. So here we are, we have an invoice that's been created and posted in the month of March 2017. And when you enable this feature, you'll see that the GL Impact tab has actually been moved down to the area with your business information, so it's easy to get to. And we've created an invoice here with a 200 euro deferred revenue entry. And over on the right-hand side, you can see there's a GL number that's been allocated. And that can be allocated either manually, so that you've got an approval process to do that, or the system can be set up to allocate that GL number automatically for you. Now, in this case, we've implemented this in such a way that you can continue to make changes as business users even while preserving the integrity of your GL. So we're going to edit this invoice from 200 euros to 100, and we're going to save that. And you'll see once we save that and scroll back down that the GL impact number on the bottom right-hand side is actually being removed. And that's because this is, from the perspective of the GL, a new transaction. But we've preserved the audit history in accordance with the accounting standards, and you can go and see that on the GL Impact Changes subtab over here on the left-hand side. So here you see a copy of the original transaction, and you also see the reversal transaction that reverses that out so that it can be replaced with the new one. And we can drill down on that copy of the original transaction, and there you are, you can see it. It's 200 euros, just as it was before. All the transaction lines there. You've got the GL number of 35 still present. And we also provide you linkage back to the reversal and the original invoice entry as well, so that you've got a full audit trail of what happened with this transaction, who made the change, what the change was, and so that you can truly comply with the local accounting standards. And that is also available in the product today. And last but not least, cash management and particularly bank reconciliation is an area that we know we've heard about from many of you, particularly where you're operating at global scale with large volumes of transactions and where you're interacting with multiple international banks. And so we've made improvements that are coming later this year in the bank rec. So let's take a look at that. So here we are. The workflow begins on the Reconcile Account Statement page. And the first thing you'll notice is that we have a big list of matched transactions. Those have been matched based upon bank statement data that was imported through the system. And we've intelligently applied rules against those transactions to make sure that we match them correctly. And you can also add custom matching rules to make sure that if you need to make any changes to the way the transactions get matched, you can do so in your system for your implementation. And that will run automatically when you import the bank statement. So here we are on the match transaction page. And you can drill down from here and actually see all of the transactions that we've matched, just in case there are any erroneous matches there that you can correct, that you need to correct. The other new thing that we've added is this unmatched page, and this is in 2 panes, and this is built on the next generation UI framework, where you can look on the left-hand side and see the transactions that have been imported from your bank statement, and you can select those individually. And you'll see at the bottom there we have a matching drawer where you can see the match in progress based upon what you're doing. And over on the right-hand side, we have the pane that shows you the GL transactions that were existing in the system that you need to match against your bank statement. And you can also select the type drop-down or even search using the field on the top right to identify particular transactions if they don't appear there in the first instance. So once you've found your transactions that you need to match, you can go ahead and click the Match button. And you'll keep a running progress and total of the matches that you're making. We can click the remaining entries on the item statement. And once all the matches have been complete, you can go ahead and then close out your bank reconciliation. So I think many of you agree this is a big step forward in the NetSuite bank reconciliation capabilities, and this is coming later this year, so watch out for that in the release notes. Thank you. Slow wave. So what's next? What's next for global customers? Well, what's next is that we're going to continue our investment in these global capabilities to make sure that you can manage your business more efficiently and effectively. So features like global customer, an employee, and project, where you can easily track all the interactions with those stakeholders across all of your subsidiaries. The global business process configurator, where you can define the buying and selling nature of your subsidiaries, and we can automate the business transactions and then the downstream accounting impact automatically as you go about running your business. And then also in SuiteTax, which was our next generation tax engine, which we're adding new capabilities to support even more countries. We'll have 140 or more countries where you can automatically import tax rates. And we're also handling more complex scenarios related to global commerce, like tax-inclusive pricing, and much, much more. We're very, very focused on the Act Global component of our strategy. And as you've seen with the numbers that we saw earlier and the types of customers that we've been implementing with, we've had tremendous success in acting global. But the next phase of our international strategy and where a lot of the investment is going to be going is into the being local component of that. And business history is littered with stories of failed international expansion. And mostly, when you look at those, they come down to companies not really understanding the local market, the unique needs, expectations, and culture of the customers. And for NetSuite, then, being local means going the last mile, or for those of you that I know are in the audience that are from Europe, of course, the kilometer. So as an ERP vendor, we need to ensure that the application enables compliance with tax calculation and reporting, local accounting standards. And we also need to ensure that we support local business process, so that on the sales side, you can interact with your customers, you can accept their orders, you can accept payments, you can ship goods to them. And on the vendor side, similarly. And many global vendors stop there. Many global vendors don't go to the last mile of being local. But at NetSuite, we've gone further. Even for the countries that we've done today, we've delivered more in terms of country-specific functionality and capabilities. Because we've recognized that being local makes a big difference to your success and in the efficiency of your employees working in all of these countries. And the work we've done on our own today has delivered some tremendous success, as you've seen. But the investment and the focus that we're getting now as a result of joining forces with Oracle allows us to go to more places with more complete solutions much, much faster. And we're hiring twice as many people in the international team and focus on international products than ever before. We're adding more development locations. And all of these people and the locations are working seamlessly across the globe today to enable us to deliver what will become the world's most localized ERP system. So what that means is more investment in our existing locations, the countries that we've already got NetSuite last mile localization for. And we'll be delivering localization for more than 20 new countries over the course of the next few years, and that's across all regions. Lots and lots of dots on the map here. And we've done the research. We know what it takes to deliver this last mile experience. We've been collaborating with our friends at Oracle who have great experience in this as well. We know what it takes to be local. We're hiring local teams. We're hiring local product managers. And so we're hard at work at delivering on the high expectations you have of us in our international expansion plan. And SuiteCommerce in Store is a great example of this. It's the point of sale solution that many of you are using or will be using. And in essence, it represents the last inch or centimeter of localization for many businesses because it's the face that you provide to your customers in store. So we're adding new languages, we're adding payment partners, we're continuing to invest so that SuiteCommerce in Store delivers a really great localized experience for our resale customers. So we're really excited about our vision of acting global, of being local. This is what's next for the international product here at NetSuite. We're hiring rapidly, we're executing on our plan as fast as we can in order to deliver great solutions. And we're focused on enabling your business thrive and expand wherever you may be. And please don't forget to invite us to visit in some of those really great locations. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Craig has been laboring long and hard on international. I think in the past it was sort of like he was pushing a big rock up a hill. And now with Oracle, he's reached the top of the hill, the rock is rolling down, and he's just trying to stay ahead of it. So we're really excited about what we're doing globally. But the other dimension on which we're making NetSuite even better for customers is industries. Your industry or vertical often defines your customers, your constraints, your competitors, and the processes you need to optimize. With Suite Success and the Suite Cloud Platform, we're revolutionizing industry solutions. So Jim talked a lot about Suite Success yesterday. It's our cross-functional approach to industries. It leads to a better product for industries in several ways. First of all, we're using the Suite Cloud Platform to deliver major components of Suite Success. That's going to drive continued improvement in the Suite Cloud Platform that will accrue to all customers. We're partnering with sales, service, and support to design the product as part of an entire offering, make it easy to implement, use, and support. And those same industry product managers and other experts who are defining the leading practices are also involved in defining and designing our new and improved functionality, some of the stuff that you're going to see today. So existing customers in those industries and related industries benefit also. So you'll see some of this as we talk about how we're tailoring the product for each industry. Speaking of tailoring, let's start with fashion apparel. I asked the production crew to add the rim shot, and they said based on the quality of the joke, they weren't going to do that. So recall I talked about this micro-industry last year, and I'm excited to share our great progress. Our vision is to enable fashion retailers to represent their brand their way, engage with customers through any channel, and deliver a seamless experience that drives purchase and loyalty. So during the past year, we've added fantastic brands to our customer roster, starting with Toad & Company, an activewear brand based in Santa Barbara, Journal, who you heard from in Jim's keynote yesterday, and The Armory, an international men's haberdasher. I should have brought Craig up to say that word. And there's a bunch more fashion brands that are choosing NetSuite to run their complex business. So based on feedback from those customers, we continue to add key features for fashion retailers. Grid order management is a great example. It's improving the user experience for large numbers of matrix items. Commit orders enhancements, finer control over inventory, how you allocate it to serve customer demand. And then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about the weekly style trend report. And the neat thing about this is very similar. It's going to be a theme I'm going to talk about today, is how the critical reports in each industry are so important. And we've been really focusing on them. And in fashion apparel, one of the highest requested enhancements was the weekly style trend reporting to give you sort of micro-industry analytics to see how a particular style is trending. So let's take a look. So you can see on your dashboard, you have access to this trend summary. You can choose different styles. You can choose different locations. You can show things like the top 5 quantities sold. Then it brings you kind of all the key metrics that you need to analyze that. The sales quantity, the sales amount, units on hand, gross margin, sell-through percent, and delivers it both as numbers and as a graph. And then when you want to drill down, you can actually see how different styles are performing, different sizes in different locations. So customers that have seen this new report are really happy. And this is just one example of some of the reports we're going to show you today, tailored for industries. And we're not done for fashion apparel. Our team is hard at work at more features. Merchandise hierarchy is how you're going to manage product and styles across seasons and collections. A promising engine, pre-pack buy and sell, which allows you to pre-package quantity mixes of SKUs, increase supply chain efficiency. So we're continuing to focus on deliver your brand through any channel seamlessly and efficiently. So a key part of our industry and suite success approach is these micro industries. But many of the needs of these micro industries are not unique. I kind of look at industries sort of like the taxonomy of the animal kingdom. So you have, at the lowest level, you have species, maybe fashion apparel or even women's clothing retailers is a micro industry or a species. But then you have genus, and you have family, and you have order. And so a lot of the things we're delivering for fashion apparel are really relevant for kind of adjacent industries in the same genus. Footwear, accessories, home goods, furniture, health and beauty. We've seen really great traction in campus bookstores. They sell a ton of apparel. So if you don't see your micro industry in this presentation today, just don't worry, it's coming. So now we're going to broaden out, talk about maybe family or order. What is the bigger category in fashion apparel is retailers and distributors. It's a key focus for us. It's a perfect example of the power of the suite because it combines e-commerce, in-store, marketing, order management, inventory management, financials in one unified system. We call this omnichannel commerce. And to talk more about this, I'd like to introduce our Senior Director of Product Management, wearing her omnichannel power suit, Allison Manatakis. Thanks, Allison.
Thanks, Evan. Our goal here at NetSuite is to empower you to deliver the ultimate omnichannel customer experience anywhere, anytime. This can be challenging even for the largest of organizations, but we make it easy for you by providing a unified ERP and commerce experience for B2B and for B2C. With unified capabilities and processes across all of your touch points and fulfillment sources, you can deploy quickly and eliminate fracture points in the customer experience. And we've been delivering on the capabilities you need to achieve omnichannel. In 2012, we launched our next generation SuiteCommerce Advanced platform and continue to mature that platform. And then we started to release key omnichannel capabilities, SuiteCommerce in Store, Customer Experience Management, Advanced Order Management, Bronto Marketing. Today, I'm thrilled to share with you 4 new capabilities, SuiteCommerce in Store, promotions, store pickup, and personalized recommendations. So let's start with SuiteCommerce Standard. At NetSuite, e-commerce is part of our DNA. From the very beginning in 2001, we had Site Builder, which is a native unified commerce experience that was easy to deploy, configure, and manage. In 2012, we launched our next generation SuiteCommerce Advanced platform, and you fell in love with the responsive, flexible design, the full customizability, the modern architecture. But for some of you, it was a little more than you needed, and you missed some of the simplicity of Site Builder. So today, we're thrilled to announce SuiteCommerce Standard, which harnesses the power of the SuiteCommerce Advanced platform and combines it with that simplicity and managed delivery that you loved of Site Builder. It's limited availability today with plans to make it generally available next year. So one of the other key premises of SuiteCommerce Standard is empowering you as business users to do as much as possible on your own. And we're adding new capabilities to customer experience management to allow you to set up your site better, to control your look and feel on your own. So let's take a look and see how easy it would be, as one example, to set up our branded site using themes. So here I can go ahead in CXM and select my themes. I can makes an easy starting point for me. You can see that I have 4 themes available in this case, and there's a link to the marketplace so that I can get more. I will take a look at these themes, and it's great to know that I have these options. I really like this Horizon theme, so I'm going to go ahead and preview that, and you'll see on the left that my site is updated. This looks great. The layout is excellent, so I'll go ahead and select and take a little bit closer look. And I really like the layout, but the color scheme's a little bit light for my brand, and so I'll go ahead and take a look at how to customize. With this particular theme, there are 3 different skins that I can use, and these are, just like the themes, are a starting point that you can start with or go customize to your brand. And the dark one really fits with my site, so I can go ahead and select that. Now I'll take a look, and yep, that looks great, but I want to see what my product detail page looks like as well. Yep, that looks fantastic. So I think this is the run for me. Let's go back to the home page and look a little bit more. And I'm noticing here that the link color, it doesn't quite pop enough, so I want to customize that. And I'll go ahead back and do that customization, edit the link. I can customize any of the elements here, right here on my own, selecting a different kind of link color. I could also go into the CSS if I were comfortable with that, but I don't need a developer's help. I can just go ahead and select that link color. I think orange would really pop in this case. And I can apply it either to a specific link or all the links on the site. So this looks great, and I think I'm going to just apply it to all the links on my site, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and publish my site. And it was that easy to go from 0 to hero and be able to launch my site and control my branding. Thank you. So let's go to our next topic, which is Suite promotions. So we heard you that promotions are critical to the omnichannel commerce experience, and you wanted more from the promotions in NetSuite. So I'm so happy today to announce the availability of Suite Promotions in 17.1. Suite Promotions is a new omnichannel promotions engine that gives you the modern capabilities you want, like stackable promotions, auto-apply, on a great new architecture that enables things like best offer logic, and a great new user experience for the marketer. So let's take a look. So as the marketing manager, this new user experience makes it so easy for me to create and manage my promotions. I can see here for all my promotions which ones are combinable, which ones can be auto-applied, and it's very easy to create. So I've created a number of promotions for my spring campaign, and I have just one left to create. So let's go ahead and create that now and see what this new user experience looks like. So we'll go and click on the Promotions button, and that brings us to the new Promotions form, and we first select the type of promotions that we want, in this case an item-based promotion. And you can see that this experience has been redesigned to follow really the way I think about promotions as a marketer. So they first start by naming my promotion, and I will also go ahead and put in the effective date. I'd like it to run until the end of next month. And my next choice is whether I want this promotion to be combinable or exclusive overall or just exclusive within its type of promotion. I'll also want this promotion to be auto-applied, so I'm going to go ahead and make that selection here as well. Now, my next logical step is to define what the customer needs to do to qualify for the promotion and what they'll get if they do. So in this case, I will say that they need to buy specific items, actually one of the spring jackets, and I've defined a saved search for that already that includes the apparition jacket. And they need to buy one jacket in order to qualify for the discount. When they do, then they can get a 50% discount on a Fluid 18 backpack. Sounds like a great deal. Maybe I'll buy one myself. So we'll add that in, and now all I need to do is enter my coupon code and go ahead and save, and my promotion is created. Now let's go and test that promotion, and to do that, I'll go ahead into the sales order and test it out, and of course that's what the experience of CSR would see as well. So I'll create a new sales order, and I'm going to go ahead and go down to the lines, and all I need to do is add those 2 items to the order. So I'll add first the apparition jacket. That's part of that saved search we created. And in addition, I'll add that Fluid 18 backpack. And let's wait and see what happens next. Watch closely, because when I add that, I don't have to do anything else, and that spring discount was automatically added. That's because the promotion was auto-applied, and if we go to the new Promotions tab, you can see any of the promotions that have been added, and in fact, our new promotion was automatically added to this order. So it's working exactly as I expected. So it makes it so easy for me as a marketer to create these promotions, and we'll see in a moment how it's a great experience for the shopper and the associate too. But first, let's go ahead and take a look and introduce our next feature, which is store pickup. So last year, we started providing that omni-channel commerce fulfillment journey for you with advanced order management and ship from store. Today, we're introducing a unified store pickup process that goes across e-commerce, order management, in-store, and blends the physical and the digital to build loyalty, optimize your inventory usage, and increase same-store sales. So let's see the new pickup process. I'm going to use a personal story. After SuiteWorld, I've been invited to go hiking in nearby Red Rock Canyon, but I didn't bring what I need for that trip, so let's go ahead and pick up something at Norso, my favorite sporting goods retailer. So I'll first start searching for a jacket. I've heard that it gets chilly a little bit later at night here in Vegas, so I'm going to go ahead and search for my jacket, and search results come back really quickly. This apparition jacket looks like my style, so I'm going to take a closer look at that. And of course, it comes in my favorite color, red, so I'm going to pick that color. And now I can see that it is available to pick up in store, but I want to check the local store and see if they have it. So I'll search for stores in Vegas, and as I do that, you can see there are 2 stores, and the first one has 50 of this jacket, so I'm good to go. I can see the opening hours and the cutoff for pickup here, and so it looks like I can pick it up tonight if I order now. I'm going to go ahead and select pickup and for this particular jacket, and I'll add it to the cart as well. I also see that I can get a promotion. I can get 50% off that backpack, and who wouldn't go hiking without a backpack? So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my order as well. Now I'll confirm, yep, my promotion still was automatically applied. That's fantastic. I didn't have to enter the code, and now I'll just go ahead and check out with my saved information. So I can see my promotions are there, my saved payment information was there. All I've got to do is go to the order review step, and I can confirm all that store information there. I see the address for the store hours, etc. And my items are there, so I'll go ahead and place the order. And there we go. Now advanced order management is creating the fulfillment request and already sending it out to the store. And now in the Las Vegas store, all the store associates who are running SuiteCommerce in store get a notification that, oh, my order needs to be prepared. So let's take a look at what they do. So when you pull up the work queue as an associate, you can see this order is right at the top. It just came in. And I'll go ahead and open the order and go and pick the items. So as we open it up, the associate would then be going out on the floor looking for the items, and if for some reason they couldn't find them, like the inventory was damaged, they could go ahead and reject it and kick off an exception workflow. But keep it simple in this case, both of the items are available, and we'll go ahead and pick them. Now, as soon as I pick them and mark them, put them behind the counter for the customer, I get an email as the customer saying your order is ready for pickup. So I know I can go in later tonight and pick up these items. And let's see now what happens when I do. So we're back to the store associate, and I walked into the store. They were able to pull up that list and see my order. And yep, they've already picked and put aside these items for me, but they also noticed that I'm buying hiking gear. And SuiteCommerce in store prompts the associate to have some other items, and I realized that I had to keep the sun off my face. It's probably a good idea, so I add that to the order as well. I've already paid for the first 2 items online, so I just need to pay for the incremental amount for the hat that I added. And I get my receipt. I'm ready to pick up, ready to go for my hiking trip later this week. Thank you. So the last area I'll briefly introduce you to is new recommendations capabilities from Bronto. Last year, we introduced standard recommendations. This year, we're introducing personalized recommendations based on browse and purchase history. These are available now via email and will be coming soon via the web. Bronto's also added new capabilities around browse recovery, new reports, and coming soon campaigns. So I hope that you're excited about all these omni-channel capabilities that will help you to achieve your omni-channel commerce dreams. Now back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Allison's provided incredible leadership in this area, and she also gets the coolest demos. It's just an example of kind of the deep industry expertise we have at NetSuite. And if you were wondering about my suit, The black is not a mourning color. It represents profitability. So before retailers can sell the products, someone needs to make them, and someone needs to distribute them to the retailers. Manufacturers and distributors have been disrupted just as much as retailers have. They really need to operate globally now. Managing global supply networks is really challenging, and we're building technology to make it easier. It's especially complex for manufacturers who outsource much or all of their manufacturing, so we're kind of putting extra focus on them. So there's a lot of promise in these omni-channel capabilities, but there's a lot of pain in manufacturing and fulfilling through all these different channels globally, with third parties potentially providing the contract manufacturing or the warehousing with 3PLs. They have retail stores that they may be operating directly. One popular smartphone contains components from 24 suppliers on 3 continents. By the time it's assembled, the phone components have traveled a collective 240,000 miles. That's over 9 times around the globe. I'm assuming here that you believe that the globe is actually round. But we've partnered with, that was a little Kyrie Irving joke there for those of you. We've partnered with over 20 manufacturers, distributors, and retailers who experience this coordination and balancing nightmare on a day-to-day basis. Some of them are highlighted here. They're providing our requirements, helping us design the upcoming features. Based on their feedback, we are focusing our initiatives in 3 key areas over the next few releases. The first is design and engineering. The second is outsourced manufacturing management. And then finally, supply chain visibility and operations. So let's start at the beginning with design and engineering. The first thing you need to do is design your product and start production of it. It requires a BOM. I'm going to say BOM a bunch of times. Don't duck and cover. I'm even going to talk about exploding bombs, just warning right now, trigger warning. But traditional systems enable you to define a BOM, a bill of materials. Modern, agile, global manufacturing requires numerous BOMs. You need different BOMs for different parts of the process. You need one for design, internal prototyping, maybe internal in-house manufacturing and contract manufacturing, and they can differ for each contract manufacturers. And they're not static. These bills of materials evolve through multiple revisions, and efficiently managing the BOMs and the revisions is critical for your ability to be agile and global. So our new advanced BOM is designed to address these challenges. It's compatible with the existing capabilities. When you turn it on, all of your existing BOMs are automatically converted. And we're going to use an example of a company that manufactures drones and take a look at this new advanced BOM capability. So you can take a look at a bill of materials here. And you can see that we have, on an assembly item, the drone assembly item, you can see multiple bills of materials. So there's an engineering BOM, there's a manufacturing BOM, maybe for in-house manufacturing, there's a contract manufacturing BOM for the Asian manufacturing company. Let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at one of those, the contract manufacturing, or the engineering BOM. And you can make copies, so it makes it really easy to move these if there's slight differences. You can also manage revisions. This is something that we had before, but we're making it even easier. The critical change is that now there's a many-to-many relationship between bills of material and assemblies. So as you saw before, an assembly can have many bills of material. Well, now a bill of material can apply to many assemblies. You may sell the same item in many different ways and want to manage that as a different item. So you can just take this BOM and apply it to individual assemblies. You can even apply it in particular locations. So different contract manufacturers in different locations may have different ways that they manufacture your item, and this new capability allows you to make a relationship there. So once you save the BOM, let's take a look at an actual revision. This is an actual bill of material. We've added thumbnails. This is important for people that are actually using it to construct their items, make sure that they're accurate in how they create your item in their manufacturing process. So managing a manufacturing facility, you can see, is one thing, but managing on the other side of the globe and in someone else's facility, which is how increasingly these things are happening, is a lot harder. So we've added new features to enable you to track and manage contract manufacturing locations as if they were your own location, and then automate processes within those contract manufacturer locations. Let's take a look at that. One of the first things we've done is add a new location type, which is a contract manufacturer location. So now when you look at the location list on an item, you see your traditional warehouses, but you also see contract manufacturer locations. And we've also changed the entire item view. Rather than being this huge, wide list, you can develop different views for different purposes. There's an item costing view, an order management view, a planning view. And in the case of the on-hand view, we actually can add an alert that shows you that a particular location, their on-hand is below their safety stock. And you can go ahead and use all the power of saved search to create your own views, maybe looking at on-hand by location type. Once you actually create a purchase order, this is where the rubber hits the road. Because this location that you're using is a contract manufacturing location, we can automatically attach the line to a purchase contract and create a work order. And with that work order, you can track what's happening at your remote location and have visibility into their inventory and their processes. So with a global supply chain, once you actually have created these items, or your contract manufacturer's created your product, you need visibility into where the product actually is and quickly and efficiently respond when there are changes. So for that, we've introduced container tracking, and our inbound shipment management feature allows you to track products as they go from contract manufacturing locations or any location to your distribution warehouse. So in this case, we have an inbound shipment transaction. You can add items from multiple POs, even from multiple vendors if they're being combined into a shipment. And you just do that with one click. And then you can now track what is the status of that container. Is it in transit? You can specify when the ownership transfer happens. And once you actually receive this shipment, with one click, you can automatically create the item receipts and all the associated landed cost from that. So the next thing we've added, which is really important, is cross-subsidiary fulfillment. So now on a single sales order, you can have items coming from different locations in different subsidiaries. And what this means is when you fulfill this order behind the scenes, we'll follow the intercompany rules that you've specified and create the necessary financial transactions. Finally, the product has been shipped, you've sold it, you want to take a look at globally the situation in your different warehouses. We have a time-phase item supply and demand capability coming, which allows you to look at a high level across or around the world. Take your choice. And we can see that many of our locations are fine in terms of inventory, but there's an alert that something's happening in the Netherlands. It looks like demand is going to outstrip supply there. So we're going to need to drill down and figure out why that's happening and hopefully remediate it. So now we can drill down and see the time-phased item supply and demand list that shows over time what's happening. And we can see that on May 24th, we have a problem because it looks like one of these contract manufacturers is not going to be able to deliver. And that's why we're going to go underwater. So what are we going to do about that? Well, we're going to have to investigate the possibility of doing a transfer from another location. So we click on the Add Adjustment button, and we're going to do a transfer order. We need it on the 22nd of May, and we need it in the Netherlands, and we need 400. So how's that going to happen? Well, the system can figure this out. We click Allocate, and it says, oh, if we can deliver from California, we have the stock in California to deliver it. If we do it on April 29th, we move that shipment between our locations, we'll be able to fulfill demand. And once we save that adjustment, we can ultimately turn that into a real transfer order once it's approved. We look back on our grid view and we see everything's green and copacetic. Thanks. I was just going to wait until you've answered. I know there's some contract manufacturers in there that are excited about this. So we've been talking through industries sort of from the most product-focused to the most services-focused. Sort of right in the middle is software and technology. We sell products, services, and subscription. They're often sold together. Software companies in many ways are the most complex, and if I do say so myself, the coolest. and let's talk about some of the things that are happening in the software industry. It's probably the best example of these new hybrid business models. It's really happening across all industries, and as I talked about in the software industry keynote yesterday, many, many companies are fashioning themselves as software companies because software is, at its essence, the opposite of hardware. And your car is now driven largely by software, which means it's very adaptable to change. So change such as hybrid business models, it's important that your system be able to react to that. Your billing system needs to be an enabler, not a blocker of what's coming next in your business. So that's what Suite Billing is all about, enabling you to price however you want, provide transparency to customers, recognize revenue automatically, and if you can sell it, we can bill it and recognize that revenue. So we launched Suite Billing at SuiteWorld last year, and we have a number of customers actually using it. We're fortunate to have one of them here today. Here to tell us about how Suite Billing has helped her company is Sue Vestry, CFO of Greenfire. Come on up, Sue. Thanks, Sue. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Greenfire?
So Greenfire is a software technology company that sits at the intersection of financial services and clinical trials. We facilitate the movement of money during the life of the trial by helping our sponsors, who are typically large pharma and biotech companies, move money to the clinical sites, who then in turn have to move money to the patients that are in the trials. And by taking this workload off of them, they can focus on the patient and the clinical trial itself. We process a lot of invoices at Greenfire, and Suite Billing is helping us to make that a lot easier.
Okay, great. So those are some of the ways that you use NetSuite and Suite Billing. Tell us a little bit more about your use of NetSuite.
Yeah, so I've been a NetSuite customer for probably 8 or 9 years across 3 different companies, and I've watched NetSuite evolve over the years to solve business problems that really need to be solved. And Suite Billing's no different. And it's been a great tool for us in our company in terms of our billing.
Great. And how has Suite Billing specifically made your processes easier?
Yeah, so we have a hybrid billing model, and we have a lot of flat fees. We have a lot of usage-based billing, and the usage component is very tedious and manual. It takes many days, a month for us to do that, and with Suite Billing we can now upload our usage information automatically, and it populates our invoices. It literally has saved us days of work. So I can reallocate our resources to other areas. The other thing is visibility into what is happening with our clients. So we have a tremendous number of statements of work and purchase orders that we enter into Suite Billing. We can track what we've invoiced against them, and it gives us the ability to proactively understand what change orders need to take place. So it's great for us, but it's also a huge benefit for our clients. And then the last thing I'd like to just kind of touch on is that I have used the other point billing solutions that are out there that are usage-based, and I really love the fact that it's an integrated product into NetSuite now, because the core rolls right into the financials, and it's a unified system, and I actually like that quite a bit. So it's a great tool.
Fantastic. So I take it you recommend.
I would.
All right, great. Well, thank you for that. That's fantastic. Thanks, Sue. I mean, so this is an example of a company that we're working with to design these industry-specific, very, very complex requirements and turning it into something that's easy to use. So thanks a lot, Sue. So we're really excited about how Suite Billing can help customers like Greenfire. And we're continuing to build it out. We have some great new functionality in the current release. And we're going to take a look at some of this. We're going to take a look at price books and churn reporting. So we're going to use an example of a gym management system that's being sold to health clubs. It has a number of different components in a subscription, recurring system access fees, members under management usage fees, and data storage usage fees. Well, now what we have in the subscription plan is the ability to specify price books, which has all the pricing even in different geographies. So in this case, we sell it in the UK and the US. Within the US, we can have 2 different price books representing our list price or our preferred pricing list. It's easy to see all of the pricing here on the subscription plan, including all of the tiers, quantity discounts. So now how does it work to actually take these price books and use them? On a subscription, we'll specify our customer, and we're going to be selling to Ed's Cross Training Palace. They're a US customer, So we're going to choose, first of all, the gym management system as the subscription plan. Now the price book field filters to the price books that are appropriate for the US, for US customers. We have list price and preferred pricing, as you can see. When we choose list price, the pricing tab fills out with all the pricing for this customer, and you can see all the details that we had in the previous screen about the different tiers, et cetera. And what this makes it easy to do is if you have a negotiated pricing for this particular customer, you can change them. So you can see all the different pricing, all the different tiers. Let's go ahead and change the pricing. Through some very, very hard negotiation, they were able to get a discount on the initial quantity on the system access from $15 to $13. We just enter it here, save it, and now when we go back and look at the pricing, we'll see that it's been updated, and they get $13 for their first 10 users. They've saved a massive $20 a month. So that's great. Now, what's the next thing that we're looking at? I mean, this is really tied to what we talked about in fashion retail. There are critical reports for every industry. In a subscription business, it's all about churn and understanding churn. So now we have a churn by customer report, and it gives you, sort of the critical metrics. It's completely customizable how you want to group it, et cetera. But start with customers at the beginning, customers at the end, churned customers, and then finally your net new customers and your churn percent. This is the critical metric that you're looking at. What's happened over the past few months is that we've had an increase in churn up to 11 and 12%. So this kind of report, actionable report, you drill down from there and figure out maybe what's causing some of this churn and remediate it. So that's software companies, companies that do billing, hybrid business models. These are, this is kind of the bridge to companies that instead of being product-centric are project-centric. So this includes professional services firms, but also many software companies and parts of software companies, many manufacturers and other industries. So our vision with project-based business is to make every one of your projects successful from scoping to sign-off. And we're doing that in several ways. So we've often said that the sales order is the center of ERP for product-based businesses. But other businesses are not necessarily driven as much by this order. As I said, they're driven by the project. So we're elevating the project and delivering project-centric ERP. So you'll start a customer engagement with a project instead of a sales order. In fact, you'll never need to create a sales order at all. As people that have been working on this for many years know, that's sort of been a big issue for me, and I'm glad that we're finally there, where you can really focus on just the project, define multiple billing, costing, and revenue rules directly on it. And then we're going to develop Suite Success leading practices around these different rule sets. So you'll be able to track labor costs, commit material directly on the project. This adds up to greater efficiency, visibility, and automation in managing your projects and your overall business. So we have some great new features this year coming to help improve efficiency and visibility. The feature used most by people using projects and SRP, service resource planning, is timesheets. We've overhauled it to make it faster and easier for your employees to enter time. Let's take a look. The new timesheets uses some of the latest UI technology, and we've developed it so that it's incredibly easy to use and incredibly easy to see what you need to see as you're entering your data. So now the time is locked on the right side, and you scroll just within the different attributes that you have to add. You roll over, and then you get a pop-out if you want to add a comment to a particular time entry. So we'll enter a memo, and then once we save the memo, we'll see an indication on that time entry that there is some additional information. We also color code the entries. There's a legend that you could see that some are pending approval, some are approved, some are rejected. We see that one of the items here that I want to highlight is vacation time. This has been brought in from SuitePeople, and you'll learn more about SuitePeople, but this is a great example of how we're embedding SuitePeople technology within your core business processes. So that's our next generation timesheets. Somebody uses them. There's more. Wait, there's more. So you're able to copy hours from previous timesheets, and then this is another example of just how we're making it easier to use on the grid. So you can scroll, but still you get the header frozen, and you can see that your that your time entries add up to 40 hours and 30 minutes. You did a whopping 30 minutes of overtime this week. And once we're happy with all those time entries, including the ones that have been sort of brought over from the previous week, we might edit them a little bit if some of the things in our week have changed. Then we're going to submit it, and voila, we have a weekly timesheet. Notice we have a lot of time entries that are pending approval. So we're going to talk about how that happens next. So what we're doing in approvals is making it easier for managers, especially project managers, to review and approve time, giving you better visibility and control over your labor costs. So in the past, there was sort of one hierarchy within which you could approve time. It was based on the time approver. Now, on a project-by-project basis, you can indicate the time approval happens either instead of or in addition to the time approver by the project manager themselves. And then once you decide that that the project manager does approval, now we can take a look at what it looks like to that project manager. And when they approve time, they see a list of the time that's associated with their projects. They go in, they can see the pending time entries in blue, and there may be one that they want to reject. They click on the comment field, memo field, and they can enter a rejection note, and then reject that individual time entry, and then with one click, they can approve all of the remaining pending time entries. So that is the next generation project-based approval. Thanks. So all of this is about sort of managing your project profitability. Again, we talked about how in each individual industry there are key reports. The fashion trend report, the churn report for subscription companies. For project-based businesses, a critical report is project profitability. You need to capture the revenue and costs for all your project activities, categorize the data to match your business, and that's what the new project profitability report gives you, the flexibility to group activities and report by the metrics that are key to your business. Let's take a look. So on our dashboard, we can immediately see the profitability of individual projects. We see that our spring campaign is unprofitable. Let's take a look at the project profitability by project report. And this is, again, customizable. You can decide exactly how you want to group and what different categories you want to look at. We can see that that spring campaign does alert as a low profitability margin. We can then open it up and look at the different components and see that it's actually, there's one area, which is the wireframing service, that is sort of the cause of this loss. And so we want to drill down a little bit more into wireframing services. Is this a general problem? Let's expand the report and look at all the different projects. And when we do that, click to expand, we can see that it's a theme, that wireframing is costing us more than we would like it to across all the different projects. Well, let's drill down on the spring campaign project that we were initially looking at and see what are the components of that service wireframe item that's causing this. So we can take a look at the actual individual entries and see that many of them, or most of them, are contractor labor, which costs significantly more than direct labor. So as you know, if we see this theme, we can go back to our practice manager and say maybe we need to manage the wireframing areas differently. So again, it's all about taking that high-level view and drilling down within one system to find out how you can improve the operations of your business. So in addition to SRP, so our built-in PSA capabilities, we're also investing more than ever before in open air. We have some fantastic new functionality coming out there. We have a project status dashboard, view key project metrics, such as, it's tough when you have to do product and project, I mean, if only we cover all businesses, as you can see. You can view key project metrics in one view. You can configure through drag and drop and even have a separate external view for clients. You can also do resource compare, so it's sort of critical to assign the best people for each individual project. And we have an e-commerce style side-by-side comparison tool that lets you see skills and other information as you're deciding who to assign. So great stuff in open air. So Okay, great, thanks. Yeah, some open air users out there. Shout out to the open air users. So we talked about, kind of this taxonomy of industries and verticals and micro verticals within retail, focus on fashion retail. Similarly, on the services side, we've selected some micro industries to focus on. And within services, we've started a new initiative for agencies. We're hiring a dedicated product team, much like we did for fashion apparel, build new and improved solutions to help you manage the business of creativity, content, and engagement. It's a new product focus for us, but it's not a new market for NetSuite. We already have great traction with customers like Bankrate, FinPartners, Profit, Vice, and many other agencies. So the new dedicated product team and the existing teams will deliver a lot of great capabilities specifically for agencies, and many of which will transfer to adjacent verticals. So project accounting, deeper talent and resource management, global projects, and more. So the new functionality will incorporate SuiteSuccess, the leading practices that we'll develop with a cross-functional team across our organization for agencies. So another vertical or industry that's near and dear to my heart is nonprofits. We've been working for many years through our social impact program. It was called netsuite.org, and it was focused on helping nonprofits do good better. Well, we're continuing on that exact initiative, and we have a great team in the nonprofit vertical, and it's also working with our employees to deliver great services to nonprofits that they believe in a pro bono effort. So the SuiteSuccess plus the product efforts is going to result in tremendous out-of-the-box capabilities specifically designed for nonprofit needs. So I'm really proud of the roster of nonprofit organizations running on NetSuite. Two that I wanted to highlight. One is Brightpoint Health, great organization that helps with health services in the New York area. They participated in our Hackathon for Good last night. They cut their financial close with NetSuite from 90 days to 18 days. Another one is Found Animals. They've scaled now to put 2 million microchips annually on animals, running their full pet registry on NetSuite through our CRM capabilities. So with SuiteSuccess for nonprofits, we're combining the flexibility of the Suite Cloud platform and our user experience to tailor the product. The nonprofit SuiteSuccess edition contains a number of powerful role-specific dashboards. One here that we're showing is the dashboard for the nonprofit CFO. Provides key KPIs and metrics covering top-line fundraising, bottom-line expenses, and key efficiency ratios. Then for the grant manager, they have a completely different dashboard, KPIs for grant revenue, net assets by grant, revenue distributions, expenses by grant. I mean, we're really drilling down deeply into the exact reporting needs for each of these verticals. And we provided a host of other capabilities for nonprofits, including FASB reporting to meet your external compliance and transparency obligations. We're adding a dedicated team for nonprofits, just like we are for agencies and just like we've had for fashion apparel. They're focused solely on functionality in NetSuite for nonprofits, including fund accounting, expense management, allocation rules for direct and indirect costs, budgetary controls, including encumbrance and spend management. So we're really drilling down into the needs of very particular businesses, and we're going to get to your industry, if not now, then very soon. So now we're going to step away a little bit from industries and talk about the area that may be nearest and dearest to my heart. So you might see a little extra spring in my step here. This is all about the leading technology that we're building into the suite to give you greater performance, agility, and insight. So let's start on performance. So we're delivering on performance. We have focused on the pages that are most used by our customers. And we have spent 2 years making strides on making sure that viewing a customer, viewing a sales order is faster than ever. So those key activities are 29% faster. And it really, many of the improvements we've made there accrue across the suite. But what's really cool is using some of the best practices in SuiteSuccess, we've found customers that can get their pages to be 47% faster. And even if you haven't implemented with SuiteSuccess, you can adopt many of these leading practices to make your users' performance better than ever. So there's a few things, obviously there's things we're doing behind the scenes to make sure the pages are fast and the application is fast. So CDNs, content delivery networks, they're not just for e-commerce anymore. They give faster performance for ERP users all over the world. Also, HTTP2 for commerce makes using commerce up to 3 times faster. And there's two more areas I want to dig into on the performance front. So for processing scheduled scripts, we're moving from our current queue-based system to processors. So with queues, you needed to sort of balance the load across the queues. But with processors, the system does it for you based on rules and priorities that you can define. Now we're going to run a highly technical simulation. Here we go. Notice how much better processors perform as the queues, you're getting some jobs stuck in the queue, but the processors get through them more efficiently. And I assure you that's backed by data. In fact, it is. We've run a real simulation, and we've seen that this maximizes the throughput through accounts, minimizes wait times for jobs by 98% for customers with Suite Cloud Plus in our real simulations. Plus, these new processors help you lose weight, and they will whiten your teeth. So we currently have application performance monitoring. Hopefully, many of you have used it to monitor the performance of SuiteScript, monitor the performance of SuiteCommerce. Now we're expanding APM to use saved searches. If you're like most NetSuite customers, you use a ton of saved searches all over your account. You have them on your dashboard. You have them on pages. You are using them for a bunch of different things, embedding them within the application to make the application tailored for your use. So now you can use the application performance monitor to keep an eye on average search time, timeouts, degraded searches, et cetera. In this example, we'll look at the timeouts. There are 104 incidents, and it looks like many of these incidents are coming from a changed orders saved search. If we look at the performance of that saved search over time, we can see that someone has changed it perhaps because they made a change on April 10th that made it a lot slower. So it's time to suspend their peanut butter and jelly supply until they get that saved search back to baseline. Another important area besides performance is security. So we're going to make it even easier for you to keep your account secure. An even better word than easy is free. We've already offered two-factor authentication by SMS or voice call. Now we've added two-factor authentication via something called TOTP, time-based one-time password. So you can use any of the popular authenticator apps. It's easy to administer, set up, and use, and it works offline. We also have other capabilities to make 2FA easy and flexible, including trusted devices and backup codes. I strongly encourage every NetSuite customer to use 2FA. We use it at NetSuite. It is really non-invasive, but it's incredibly powerful in securing your account. We've added some incredibly powerful new capabilities into the Suite Cloud platform. Recently, we've released the Suite Cloud Development Framework. We've talked about that over multiple years, and now customers, partners, and inside of NetSuite itself, we can use it. Big leap that allows you to do team development much more effectively. We have new APIs in SuiteScript geared towards better performance and security, and we've added support for saved searches in advanced printing. Now I'd like to show you some of the new features that we're going to be adding to the Suite Cloud platform. We're continually trying to make NetSuite easier to use for developers. So this next feature, Copy to Account, it's based on the Suite Cloud Development Framework, but it makes it super easy to copy customization across accounts. Let's take a look. So we might be working on a custom record type. We want to easily move that to our production account once it's ready to go. There's a Copy to Account button right there on the custom record type. And step one is to decide what our destination is. So we want to move this custom record to a production account. Next, we're going to take a look at the dependencies. The system has determined that there's some other data types that we need to bring over. In addition, there's dependencies on other data types that already are in the destination account, and yet some of them have changed. So we can choose to move at the same time the other data types that have changed. So we'll choose, we'll click on the three data types that say updated, and we'll move on to the next step. And the next step is validation. So when we click next, it goes and makes sure that there's no inconsistencies between objects in the accounts and that everything's ready to go. When the validation is complete, we click next, and the last step is that we're going to provide a deployment name so that we have an audit trail of what we've done. And once we've specified our deployment name, We're going to click deploy, and now it's actually going to happen. It's moving all those data types into the production account, and we're done. So we didn't have to use the bundler at all, just a really easy, quick way. And customers that we've shown this to think it's incredibly powerful. So yeah, all right. Clearly that one was based on user research. So SuiteFlow, near and dear to my heart, one of the coolest things we've added into the platform. It allows you to define custom business logic through drag and drop, not writing a line of code. It's used very, very widely across our user base. And the way we know that is because the highest requested platform enhancement by all of you is sublist support in SuiteFlow. And I'm excited to say that we're delivering that this year. So if you're going to do a little plot setup. Oh, good. OK. You'll like this one. You'll like this one. So we're a business selling virtual reality contact lenses. Come on, that's next. Is there anything more next than that? And of course, it's a highly demanded item, so we're limiting quantities that customers can buy. And so a customer couldn't order as many as they want through the website, so they've called a sales rep. Now the sales rep, using the sales order, takes a look and says, oh, yeah, so you want to order 25. Well, I'll change that to 25, save. When I save that order and I view the order, this is where SuiteFlow has come in, and it's added a note, a message that we can't sell more than 20 without approval. It's added that to the approval queue. It's also changed the moisturizing eye drops to match the quantity of contact lenses. How does this work behind the scenes? It looks like the SuiteFlow you know and love, but what we've added is a sublist action group. And what this means is that you can add a group where all of these actions will be performed for every line item in the specific sublist, in this case, the item sublist. So yeah, that's it. That's the pièce de résistance. So when you're implementing actions within that subgroup, you have access to all the sublist fields, as well as all the main fields, as you would expect. And so you can make changes based on individual fields in the sublist. Same thing with your conditions. Your conditions have access to fields within the sublist on the particular line that's being processed. As we say, we process all the lines through SuiteFlow, through this new sublist action group. So that's it. Highest requested platform feature. All right. So we've talked about suite segments over the past couple years, and one of the reasons that people find that so valuable is because you have so much valuable data in NetSuite that you want to quickly categorize and analyze. But maybe you want to do that in a more ad hoc way than actually having to find a list and apply these lists to various records. Suite Tags enables any user to quickly tag any record in NetSuite and then search and act on our tags. Again, our demo has a plot. Customers called into customer service because she received the wrong product. And so let's take a look. So within that sales order, we can quickly add a tag. First thing is, just with type ahead, there's already a tag created. You can choose it. So this is incorrect merchandise delivered. We gave this person a discount, but I need to do that today in the sales order. So I'm going to use a private tag of due today, and I want the operations manager to be able to see this, so I'm actually going to tag that person, Sherry Smith. And once I save that sales order, then all those tags are completely visible in the system. For me, I can look at my to-do today tags and see right there in global search, those are my tasks. Those are my tasks for today, right there in the results, right there on the page. Now then we can move over and take a look at how this might be used by the operations manager. They can also do searches in global search. Maybe they want to see all of the sales orders that have incorrect merchandise. They just type the tag into global search, so incorrect merchandise delivered, choose that tag, and they get immediately a list. And so these, they can also do a saved search based on this tag. Maybe they want to see the total amount of objects that are affected by incorrect merchandise, or the total amount of sales orders. There you can see right there, it searched quickly for the discount given tag and gives us a total. Now, what this allows is these ad hoc processes that may arise in your business, and should you find that this is something that you really need to repeat and make so more rigorous, then you can move from using suite tags to using custom segments. But we think that this capability will be really helpful for individual users of NetSuite. So we have a lot of great stuff coming in the Suite Cloud platform. The Suite Cloud Development Framework is going to add configuration management, one of the critical components of implementing a Suite app. The query APIs to use our next generation analytics with multi-level joins, SuiteQL within SuiteScript to allow you to most rapidly find the data that you need within your Suite scripts. And we're going to support ECMAScript 2015 and beyond to introduce the latest JavaScript capabilities. There's amazing capabilities coming in JavaScript. Those are going to accrue to all of our SuiteScript developers. We're modernizing our integration APIs with REST, and we're building a translation framework that enables you to leverage our translations within your Suite apps. So every year we talk about how people have used the Suite Cloud platform in the most innovative and impactful way. And so we're going to recognize today 3 customers and choose a Your Suite Award winner. The first is the Abacus Manufacturing Group, top nominee that manufactures and distributes bathroom products in Harrogate, England. They use NetSuite to automate their warehouse management processes and provide real-time visibility. Agents National Title Insurance Company, they underwrite regional title insurance. They doubled in size this year. They're from Columbia, Missouri. They built their entire pricing framework using customized NetSuite record types, aiming to service across 50 states. And finally, Kraftmark Bakery manufactures and supplies frozen bakery goods. They're in Indianapolis, Indiana. They use NetSuite to automate production scheduling and provide operational reporting, including shift reporting and a production scorecard. And the winner is Kraftmark Bakery. I'd like to welcome to the stage Tim Ward, the CIO, Dwayne Brunner, the VP of Finance, and my lovely assistant here. We couldn't go without getting my wife on stage, right? And she's going to fix something in my wardrobe, so that's excellent also. Oh, wardrobe malfunction. Thank you, honey. Okay, and now to our winners. Thank you very much for doing a great job of using the Suite Cloud platform. And now we'll take a picture. Thanks a lot. So these guys, their challenge was they had spreadsheet-based processes for managing production plans, shift reports, and raw materials. They had conflicting data across systems, required manual reconciliation. They had no visibility into the performance of the plants. So their solution was production scheduling, automated shift reporting, and a plant scorecard with full KPIs on real manufacturing results. Great benefits in improving decision-making and efficiency, increase in efficiency and production performance. So thanks a lot, Kraftmark Bakery. Next, I want to talk about the 4th annual Hackathon for Good. Right here, it's the first one in Vegas. We got a much bigger room. I think people were very excited about that. 65 customers, partners, and NetSuite employees teamed up to use NetSuite to solve 2 challenges for one of our nonprofit customers, Brightpoint Health. And as I mentioned before, Brightpoint Health, leading nonprofit provider of integrated healthcare and social support services to New Yorkers, especially those challenged by poverty, discrimination, and lack of access to healthcare. And so the winning teams for the 4th annual Hackathon for Good are Team InnoHealth and Team F8. So great job. Team InnoHealth built a centralized reporting system in NetSuite, pulling data from 8 other systems to give users access to all key reports and interactive charts. Team F8 built an automated AR and cash management solution using medical claim data to automatically generate invoices, match claims with payment, enabling Brightpoint to understand their cash position in real time. Thanks to Brightpoint for spending the day with us. Thanks for all the people that labored hard in the Hackathon for Good. So at SuiteWorld last year, I announced the next generation of Suite Analytics that we're building. And I showed you our new query builder. It featured an intuitive drag-and-drop interface, nested criteria, multi-level joins. I know a lot of you are going to take great advantage of that. We're well along the development of querying and pivoting, preparing for a beta release, so that's going to be great. What I'm going to show you today is how we can take our next generation Suite Analytics and use data visualization to make it even more powerful. As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 cells. I think that's how it goes. So visual analytics enables us to get new, deeper insights into our data. So we're going to leverage Oracle's data visualization cloud service and embed it into NetSuite. So let's take a look at it. So imagine you're a finance manager. There's been a recent increase in operational expenses, and you need to identify the root cause. So you're going to prepare a detailed action plan for the board meeting. Let's go and do that. So we're going to build the data using our analytics, querying, and reporting capabilities. And here you can see the data of all the operating expenses over a particular time, sliced by region, sliced by cost center, et cetera. But we really want to drill down and figure out where these additional operational expenses are happening. So we're going to take the data and visualize it in a different way. We'll pull the region, drag and drop the region so that we're slicing by region. But we think that a better way to look at that, maybe rather than a chart, would be a map. So we choose map, and we automatically have added a metric which shows us the year-in-year increase or decrease in operational costs, and it's color-coded. Light is good, darker means a loss. And we can see that the losses are concentrated in the UK region. So now we'll have to drill down, and this map has helped us identify where it's happening. Let's identify what's happening in this region. So we're going to create a new chart, and first we're going to filter to that region because we want to look only at the UK. And we do this all by drag and dropping, filtering to the UK region. And then we're going to slice the operating expenses by account group. And we're going to look at it over time. And maybe a better way to look at this would be with a line graph. And we could see a temporary increase in T&E, but more importantly, we see a big increase in salary and wages. So let's drill down even further and figure out what's going on with salary and wages. Salary consists of two components, base salary and overtime. So we're going to take both of those components, and we're going to view them we're going to view them as a combo line over time. We can see that it's not salary that's the problem, or base wages that's the problem. It's overtime. It's overtime costs that are the problem. So now we're going to drill down even further and figure out what's going on with those overtime costs. So we'll filter only to overtime cost, but now we're going to slice it by cost center. And so if we do that, once we drag and drop cost center in there, we'll see where the increase in overtime might be happening. And we'd see that there's a big increase in overtime for call center services. So something's going on in the call center. Let's drill down even further and figure out what's going on in the call center. Maybe it has something to do with products. So now let's slice the overtime hours, overtime by product. And we can see then that there's a particular problem with the Omega product. So Omega product managers and product specialists, we're going to come talk to you and figure out what's going on, maybe an increase in issues that's causing this increase in cost. So we've gone from a high-level view of what's going on in the business to a very, very detailed view of what's causing that. And now we can build that all together in a sort of storyboard that you can deliver to your board to explain what's been going on in these increased operational expenses. So that is visualization within our next generation analytics using some great technology from Oracle. So there's two other Oracle applications that we're going to leverage to deliver more and better functionality for you. The Oracle Analytics Cloud. Some customers want to supplement NetSuite with another BI tool. If you want to aggregate and report on data from NetSuite and other systems, for example. So we're building integration to the Oracle Analytics Cloud. It's a comprehensive BI solution enabling end users to self-serve in creating reports. The Smart Discovery feature automatically helps uncover hidden patterns, and the day-by-day mobile app provides answers to spoken questions. So this is a great tool that now you're going to be able to use in conjunction with NetSuite. The other thing we're announcing today is Oracle Planning and Budgeting Cloud Service for NetSuite. So the initial launch very soon will include market-leading planning and budgeting through both web and Oracle Smart View interfaces. You can manipulate, view, import, and share data in Excel right from PBCS. Prepackaged NetSuite adapter for integrations allowing customers to map, verify, and transfer financial data. Subsequent releases, we're going to have Suite Success modules and templates designed specifically for different industries with this planning and budgeting functionality. So great stuff. So I talked up front about how we're doubling down on our vision of delivering a suite, a system to run a whole business. And the one component that's been missing, and the biggest addition to the suite in years, is HR capabilities and suite people. So to tell us about it, I'd like to introduce a gentleman who was here 4 years ago as a partner, and he has survived 2 acquisitions now and lived to tell about it, and he has some incredible stuff that they've been working on for years to show us. I would like to introduce our VP of Development for NetSuite HCM, Joseph Fung. There he comes from that side. Thanks, Joseph.
I'm so excited to be here sharing Suite People with you. And no, it's not just because I have a really great shirt that makes me feel better about myself. But Jim said it best when he said, we're adding the missing piece, and we're completing the puzzle. And now, with the complete puzzle, there's no other cloud solution that's as comprehensive in solving the problems of everyone from pure service to heavy product-based industries. With Suite People, we're filling that missing piece, and more importantly, we take information from every area of the suite, financial, CRM, PSA, and bring it together into a comprehensive, unified view of your employee. That allows us to deliver to our customers a more holistic view of their workforce. And for the HR organization, we deliver from strategic organization design to job and position management, from data effective record keeping to dynamic analytics. We're giving the HR organization every tool they need to run a best-in-breed organization. Now, we couldn't have done this alone. We built Suite People on a strong foundation of customer feedback, research, and here are just a few of the many, many customers that helped us realize this vision. We worked every day to solve very real problems that they had in their business. And to solve these problems well, it required big vision. And our vision was to build the most user-friendly business suite available. And that's exactly what we did. Now, it's easy to talk about user-friendly. It's easy to talk about people at the core and employee-centric. Let me show you what this is like. Now, bear with me. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and I've been told I only have a few minutes, so we're going to jump right into this. And let me show you what this looks like from the employee experience. Now, I'm logged in right now as Emily, an employee, and you can see with the Employee Center, familiar tiles with a new look for purchase orders, expenses, letting me have visibility into all of my requests. But HR data is also sensitive, and you can see how we treat it securely, but also in a very usable way. We have a host of self-service features, and let's dig into one of those to give you an example. Now, Emily's a comparatively new employee, and she had someone help her get better ramped up. Now, I can't remember her name, but I recall she was in sales, so we're going to search in the employee directory for sales. I need to filter it down. I recalled she worked in Boston, and there she is, Leah Hodges. Now, I want to thank Leah for helping me get ramped up, so I'm going to give her kudos, recognition, right here from the directory. And as I type that in, I can also see the company has set up their organizational values, and I'm going to make sure I associate this recognition with the value knowledge sharing. Now, as I give this recognition, not only is it showing up on her employee profile, but also in the company activity stream on everyone's dashboard. Her manager was notified, and HR can fold this to any of their reports. Now, I'll be working with Leah very frequently. So from the directory, I'm going to jump over to the organization browser to show you what other capabilities we have. Right there on the left, on the right, we're going to click in and jump to the org browser. And this browser allows me to see not only Leah, but jump to other areas of the organization. We can also zoom in and zoom out to show more or less information. And while I'm here, I'm going to go and check out Frank, our CFO. Now, not just in the org browser, I'm going to jump right into Frank's public profile. And as an employee, I can see his title, his organization, yes, the people that report to him, or in this case, also a handy custom field bio that we've added for this company. That allows our customers to tailor the profile to their unique needs and culture. We talk a lot about ease of use. There's something else that we wanted to make very easy, and that was booking vacation. Now, this is a great example because we'll show you multi-facets of it. And yes, as a company, we can track any number of types of time off, each with their own eligibility and accrual rules. But in this case, we just want to jump right in and book a week off. So I can do that from here. Choosing my start and end dates is as easy as dragging from one to the other. And like I said, I'm going to use some vacation time. So I'll choose vacation, and the system will fill it right down for me. Now, the last day, I actually want to change up and use one of my personal days. So I'll change that. And I have to come back in on Wednesday for some meetings. So let's go and change Wednesday from being a full day to just a half day. So it's a complex request, And before I send it, I can see I have a couple of warnings on Monday and Tuesday. My manager's going to see that too. So let's take a look at it before I send it off. I can see Andy is going to be away, but that's okay. We work on different projects, so I'm going to submit this request anyway. Now, what's great is this request is not only going to my manager for approvals using a workflow as simple or as complex as we want, but it's also automatically flowing into our timesheets, as you saw earlier. Now, this is fantastic from an employee's perspective. But what about a manager's perspective? We've really doubled down on the manager experience to make sure that we're enabling managers to do their job better and to be more effective. Again, let's show you what this looks like. So I'm still in Employee Center, but now I'm logged in as Matthew. Matthew's a manager, and he has subordinates, so he also has a manager tab so he can take a look at his team. And you can see right there an overview of all of his team members, and he can jump into those profiles. But this dashboard also gives key information like the upcoming new hires that we have. More importantly, this dashboard helps me remember key things I might otherwise lose track of. For example, I have 2 employees coming up with birthdays and 1 employee with an upcoming employment anniversary. And yes, because this uses the power of the suite, we can add any number of KPIs and reminders to make my job easier. But there's more than just reminders. I can see I do have some open time off requests. Let's give you the other perspective of this feature. I could approve individually, but let's take a look at the overview. And I see one example. I've got some warnings on Andy's request. Let's dig into that and show you what it looks like. I can see Emily's asked for some time off, but again, they work on different projects. It's okay. We're going to approve that. And yes, this shows up on the timesheet in approved status, but it also flows automatically into NetSuite payroll. Now, all of these tools are great for handling your HR operations, but Matthew is also responsible for other day-to-day tasks. We've baked Suite People right into his everyday workflow. In this case, we have an implementation for Adley Electric coming up, and I would really, really like to assign Emily to do some work on this implementation for about a month, starting mid-May, extending into June. There's a number of hours, there's a good collection of time, and when I choose Emily, I can see that previously she's booked time off, and so she's not available. I'll choose a different resource, and I can see that that assignment's nice and smooth. We've very, very intuitively baked Suite People workflows right into everywhere in the suite. Now, all of these tasks are great, but sometimes there are actions that are a little less frequent. For example, giving somebody a raise. Emily's a new employee, but she's been just kicking ass, so let's go and give her a promotion. I'm going to scroll down, and I can see in the compensation details, she currently makes $60,000, and I want to submit a request to give her that raise. So let's go up, open a new change request, and I can see there are a number of fields that I can modify, I have control over, I can submit in. But today, we really want to focus in on the compensation side of things. So let's change that $60,000 and bring it right up to $65,000. And we're going to hit next, because this change isn't effective right away. What we'll next do is we're going to identify the reason. So in the HR organization, we have a better visibility to why these changes are happening. We can date it for the future, May 1st. And I'm also going to assign this to my local HR representative, Gina. Now, what's great is when I actually submit this for approval, I'm going to get a very quick page that gives me a beautiful overview of the small changes I've made. And now I know that it's in HR's hands to approve and then move it through the process, which is a really great lead-in, because the reality is, fundamentally, we want to enable the HR organization to not only fulfill their responsibilities, but increase their capacity and really help their companies realize the business vision. So again, let's show you what this looks like from HR's perspective. So now I'm logged in as an HR director, and this is the out-of-the-box dashboard that comes with Suite People. Links to time off requests, kudos, as we've already seen, and key reminders. Demographic details, attendance details, outstanding new hire requisitions, and yes, if you use one of our integration partners like JobVite or Taleo, that data is automatically synchronized. However, at the core of an HR system is your employee data. So why don't we go over to an existing familiar employee profile to show you the breadth of this offering. I spoke previously how we pull together financial, CRM, PSA data. Right now, we want to focus on some of the HR and the people data. So I'm going to scroll down and just jump right into the HR tab. And you'll see the reams of information that we can actually store and manage, down to granular details like job and position management for multiple lines of reporting or job sharing, subordinates, as well as history. We also store details like government IDs, of course, passports, driver's licenses, but also getting down into localizations. Social security numbers here, social insurance numbers in Canada, national insurance numbers in the UK, and so on. Today, though, we want to take a look at the compensation tracking first. And yes, all of this details flows automatically into our payroll, or if you're using our global payroll connector with Celergo, it'll flow there too. And as I showed you before, we do time off management. So you can see here the balances and available eligibility rules, but a system is only as powerful as the configuration option. So I want to show you how easy it is to tailor the policies and systems for time off management for your company. And I'm going to go over and I see we have 4 time off plans. We've already created them to tailor to the unique compliance requirements and cultures of our different offices. And earlier I added a new type of time off, volunteer time. Let's go and add this to our US plan so that our employees can take some time off and give back, maybe participate in a hackathon for good. I can see we're already tracking sick time, personal time, jury time, although we don't automatically accrue any. Our vacation time jumps up over 5 years. Let's add this new rule. I'm going to choose the volunteer time, and we'd like to give people 2 days every year. So let's set it to 2 days annually. We give them at the beginning of the year. And when we hire a new employee, we're going to give them a prorated amount. Since they started mid-year, they get part of that. We also want to let people carry over that balance, but let's set an intelligent maximum. We'll limit that to a total of 4. I'm going to save that new rule, and it shows up on the plan. I'm going to save the plan, and right here you see how easy it was to update our time off policies and manage a truly global organization. Now, more than just policy management, data management often gets into data effective record keeping. So let's give you a really quick example of what it's like to travel in time. I'm going to open up a different employee record. And yes, we're going to make a transfer today. But first, let's take a look at our profile. And right there, underneath the Actions item, Actions menu, I have the option to say View as Date. Let's choose a date in the future, June 1st. Choose the date, hit OK. And now you can see the tag at the top showing that I'm viewing her in total employee record, all of those fields, as the value they'll have when we get to June 1st. Now, we wanted to make that transfer, so let's go and click Edit, choose a change reason, enter some details. And as soon as we move forward, you'll see that edit form, what you're already used to, using the same workflows, customizations that you have in your existing NetSuite environment. But we're going to make changes to both their supervisor and location. And as soon as those changes are made, will be brought back to the employee profile, seeing it again as of June 1st, reflecting those changes. And what's great is I can scroll down, I can take a look at the effective date log and see all of the changes that have ever been made to her profile on the effective dates. And I can narrow this down to take a look at one part of her journey. Let's say all the supervisor changes that she's had. Now, what's also so powerful is that all of these data effective records are available to NetSuite searching, reporting, and Suite People ships with over 50 pre-configured reports available all here in the Reports menu. But there's a couple that I'd like to jump into to show you how easy it is to pull key insights out of Suite People. Let's start off with the headcount analysis. You can see we've been growing steadily over time, and this is all built on our new UI framework. We could filter this down, but let's take a look at every department on one visual first. And I can see the majority of our headcount sits in 2 groups, product and professional services, so let's narrow it down to just those big 2. Again, we're continuing to grow, but let's take a look at the new hires and the turnover. Both of them have been hiring very successfully, but it looks like the product organization has had a little bit of turnover. Why don't we just focus in on product and maybe split this by location and see if there's a story there. Let's go back down, and I can see that, yes, there's 2 locations that have a lot of new headcount. We've got Sydney and Baltimore, but almost all of the turnover is happening in Baltimore. And that's worrisome. That could point to a leadership issue in that specific office. But to really figure out why and what's going on, I'm going to jump to another report, the turnover analysis. The first thing that we're going to do on that page is narrow it down again. That was the product group in Baltimore. And yep, that trend is there. We can see the turnover. But why? What's actually happening? And I can see there's 2 buckets there where we have turnover. First off, if I take a look at the voluntary regretted turnover, it's a little worrisome because I see 2 key reasons that people are leaving the organization. There's dissatisfaction with their manager or another job. That's particularly worrisome because that highlights that chance of a leadership issue. But then there's also the involuntary regretted. And I can see that there's just a single reason, the job position eliminated. And that makes a lot of sense because we restructured the group a few months back, and yes, there's been some turnover. Now, regardless of the core cause, that's exactly the conversation we want to have with the head of the department and senior leadership. Now, all of this functionality, all of this power is really, really fantastic, but it's even better when you bring it to a great mobile experience. So yes, we've built this system on the same framework that allows NetSuite to be used on mobile devices, but we've also taken key Suite People workflows, time entry, the directory, and brought them to the native mobile device. And again, we couldn't have done this alone. We've been working with a great ecosystem of partners, and many of these partners, for example, JobVite, Celergo, PlanSource, already have out-of-the-box integrations with built-for-NetSuite designation, ensuring that you have a comprehensive solution right out of the gate. And, of course, we've been working with our new colleagues at Oracle with the Taleo Cloud Service to bring their robust talent management and our strong core HR together and give you an even more powerful solution. So I know it's been a whirlwind. We've covered everything from an employee center, booking time off, to key HR insights. And I know the question is, what's next for Suite people? Over the next few releases, you're going to see us digging even deeper into HR, exposing new HR functionality, and of course, more. We're going to be focusing on additional verticals with additional pre-configurations and additional geographies, but I'm going to save all of those for future SuiteWorld, and in the meantime, I'm going to give it back to Evan so that we can carry forward. Thanks.
Thank you, Joseph. Joseph's another example of great experts in their area like Allison and Craig, and an amazing team that's built this over multiple years all over the world. I really congratulate them. Fantastic stuff. And the other thing I kind of take out of that presentation, again, is critical reports and analytics that you need to get the information out of NetSuite is always a focus. So we've shared with you our nexts, delivering more Suite for more customers, global industries, Suite Cloud, Suite Analytics, Suite People. We want to know what's your next, because as I learned in my Oracle orientation, it's your success, but it's also my success, because it's your success because you succeeded by succeeding here. Thank you very much for listening today. Enjoy the rest of SuiteWorld.